My first memories of Ryan are when I was teammates with him, I guess, in 2009. Didn't know him really, like I didn't know him as a kid, and was unaware of his whole out of the B class and kind of lights program. Like my first memory is Jason Lawrence messing with some kid. So when I went to Suzuki, we got to know Ryan a lot, and just remember him pounding motos always. He was actually fun to be a teammate. Like all my teammates, for the most part, were really different, like in their mental, like how much they want to win, and everybody wants to win, but not everybody works to win. And so it was fun. It was fun to have a teammate that was younger than me, not necessarily racing against me. And yeah, you could chase each other around the test track and do all the things that it takes to win those races. When I first started being around Ryan on like a daily basis and things like that, he was living in Tallahassee and was around Ricky a lot. So here you are. I don't remember how old he was, but I'm sure he was in his teens, being beat up by Ricky, and we all know for the most part what Ricky's like, and he's a jokester. And here you are, you got this little fresh, we got fresh meat pretty much to beat up on. And I just remember doing photo shoots and team shoots, and Ricky's ruthless and brutal, and I think I compliment that. So we definitely had our fair share of getting after him. But there's a side of Ryan that I feel fortunate to have seen. There's Ryan that I think you see on the weekends and you see in the cameras and things like that. But there is a different side of Ryan that I feel fortunate to have known. In 2008, U.S. Open at the bar after the race, and my wife, maybe a few too many encouragement drinks, and comes up to him and basically slaps him, tells him, "You need to harden up." And I'll never forget it. It was just, just this innocent little Ryan Dungey, like didn't know what to do, didn't know what to say, and he's like, yes, I'll harden up. So, yeah, I feel like I covered for him a few times. Maybe I was somewhat responsible for his actions, but that kind of what makes it fun. Italy 2009, I believe that it was Ryan's first weekend on a big bike, on a 450, and he wins the second moto. USA wins the championship, and yeah, typical donations, all hanging out in the hospitality, and one thing leads to another. Limoncello, or 2 or 3 or maybe 10 bottles seems to flow around. And I remember him having a great time dressing in somebody else's riding gear. And I just remember seeing him, and he had no goggles on. And I tackle him, I throw goggles on him, and I'm like, whatever you do, don't take your goggles off. And he wasn't in his appropriate clothing, nor his name on the back. So it was a different brand and things like that. And I just basically grabbed him. I said, look, just keep your goggles on. There's a lot of people around, cameras and things like that. So yeah, try to have his back. Yeah, I always had, respect for Ryan, and from when, basically he was, essentially my replacement at Suzuki, and 2010 was his rookie year, and it was just fun, at this level, there's nothing more fun than racing a guy that's fair. If you can beat them, you feel like you really achieved something, because he's a guy that works hard, and he was a rookie, and you knew that he had things to learn, and everybody, it was well documented what happened, in his early years with the whole Lawrence situation. So then, it's almost like people dubbed him as somebody that was maybe a little unstable. And I think that what was most impressive about Ryan is, the first year, 2010, he came out ready to go, and he was strong. He was in a position to, challenge week in and week out. And, only one other person in the history of the sport can claim that they were a 450 Supercross champ in their rookie season. So the numbers don't lie, and I think that, it was impressive to think that he was able to do what he did in year one, and just, kind of hats off. And, through the years, I think that we had a lot of great battles. Never really, like had any real moments like where we got into each other or took each other out. You know, sure, there was a few moments where you get a little aggressive or things like that. You know, 2017 we had a little, you know, get together. You know, I felt that he did some, you know, like his move in the first term was dangerous, and I ended up on the kind of short end of the stick. And then obviously the you know, getting lapped in St. Louis deal. But other than that, it's never been an issue. You know, like we've always raced hard, always been consistent. You know, like he beat my record last year, you know, which was kind of a bummer. But like, you know, as far as consistency, he now has the new record and beat mine a little bit. But yeah, I mean, we're really close. I think he's maybe 10, maybe just over 10. Shy on me on race wins. So like through the years, it's crazy. It's like, it's bizarre for me. You know, here I am sitting here at 35 years old and Ryan's 27 and we're talking about his retirement, not mine. So it's a little bizarre and hard for me to kind of comprehend. How do you step away? Maybe I need some tips on that one, but he had an impressive career, 4 titles, 30-plus Supercross wins, and this consistency was never a question. So, you know, and I think what you look at, the winning years, especially the last 3, in my opinion, he had the best team and best bike. They're probably years that were really easy for him, and looking from the outside, they looked somewhat easy as well. But it was more the fact that, you know, like he had the courage and he had the faith in people like Roger DaCosta, and going from Suzuki to KTM when he did, you know, seemingly was a career suicide. And you look at what he just achieved with 3 Supercross championships in a row on arguably the best bike in the class and best team, you know, and you rewind that clock 6 years or however long it was, and it was a ballsy move. I think he stayed committed to the project and reaped the rewards the last 3 years. So yeah, I think that he was a well-rounded guy that I'm really happy that I got to race and have the battles that we did. But more than anything, that I got to see a side of Ryan Dungey that very few people have got to see. And that's, I think, the important part, because for me, I feel like I know, you know, the real Ryan, and he actually is human. He's not the auto play guy that you see in front of the camera sometimes. I felt like I knew Ryan was retiring after that. Small world, small industry. Everybody's got their moles, so you kind of know what everybody's up to, but you felt it. I think more than anything, where there's smoke, there's fire, and so kind of like going into that last race and then seeing him go through the 20 minutes plus 2, the way it kind of played out. Something in me knew that was last race for him, and you know, I just basically told him like, good job, man, and just enjoy it, enjoy the moment. You know, like I feel like 2017, you saw a different Ryan, like almost like the weight of his, you know, the world was on his shoulders, and he just never seemed comfortable. I don't think he, you know, rode to his potential and put it out there as much as he did the 2 prior seasons. I think the real Ryan was playing it smart, in his mind at least. After watching his retirement speech that he did, I felt that he knew it, and he wasn't really prepared to put it out there, and consistency got the job done, and my hat's off to that. You know, like there's nothing more difficult than having that inner battle with yourself and trying to perform on Saturday nights when everything feels wrong. You know, he got through a really difficult year, and I think he was a deserving Supercross champ, and my words were along those lines. Yeah, I mean, entering a season without the previous season's champion always changes up the feel, changes up the vibe. You know, I sit here uncertain on my own future, and depending on the scenarios, but I may be the only past Supercross 450 Supercross champion in 2018 behind the gate. So going into 2018 will be definitely a different feel. And what was so hard about beating Ryan Dungey is, you know, of course the speed and the fitness that he always had, but more than anything, you knew he was always going to be there. His consistency is what kept him in it, and that's how you win championships. You know, I don't believe that he was the fastest guy in 2017, but he was by far the best and the most consistent when needed be, and that's how you're a full-time Supercross champ. I mean, yeah, Ryan's always there. Good days, bad days, sand, ruddy, hard pack, muddy, you know, like just no matter what, he's always going to be there. And I think that that was what made him, you know, made him dangerous.